Drop the bass.
What's up, everybody? Another episode of Mark's Remarks on Blank Space Entertainment. I am the Reverend Alex Larson, and I have two special guests today. The Internet's Mark Medina. And Blank Space own PR manager, Amanda Medina.
Hi.
Exactly.
So why are we here? What are we doing here?
You guys are here because you guys just got back from San Francisco. You took a very special trip.
We did.
And where'd you go?
We went to Nintendo Voice Chat Live at IGN.
Exactly. IGN's headquarters, San Francisco.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So, how was it to
Well-
be in the kingdom?
This isn't our first time there. That was our second time going there.
Yeah.
And it was less exclusive this time. The first time we got a personal tour from our friend that works there.
You're like royalty. They just
Yeah, I know.
give you the special treatment.
Right.
Shout out to Destin.
I know, right? So, but then this time was less like when you first go to IGN, like it's this big hallway, and then it's like an elevator, and then it kind of opens up, and then there's all these different rooms you can go to.
Yeah.
And this time, all those rooms were blocked off. You're just in this first room, and that's where they had the podcast set up.
Just
Break
hurtled you like cattle, huh? Just
Yeah.
right down the hallway.
Yeah, it was their break room because there was
Yeah.
arcade machines.
That's what he said, the
lining
lunchroom, right?
wall.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they had sandwiches and stuff there too. Like people
Mm-hmm.
ate dinner there. Like it was really cool. We didn't. She's like, I can't eat in front of 200 people. My nose will look big. That's a quote.
True story.
She's like, I was like, do you want something to drink? She's like, no. What if when I drink, my nose looks too big? I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's...
And were you on camera or you just in the
No.
audience?
No, there was just so many people there. I didn't want anyone to look at me. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Everybody
That's it.
came to Nintendo Voice Chat to watch Amanda.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
I know. And she's like, I'm like, there's like nerds everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like really old people. There's like, and everyone. It was weird. Everyone's just on their DSs the whole time.
Yeah.
It was funny because the podcast was 2 hours long, and like the two people that sat to the left of us were on their DSs the entire time.
Just listening to it, huh? Not even watching.
I guess.
I'm like, they're up there. I don't know. Like I can
just-
play my DS anytime. Like I was
Yeah.
It
there
was
to
fun to
hear a
watch
podcast.
them,
Yeah, they were
you
pretty
know,
funny.
Their facial expressions and stuff. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So I've listened to the podcast. I didn't watch it, but so they gave out some prizes, and I heard a funny story about this. Do you guys want to explain what happened?
Go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, so they were giving out, I'm not sure exactly what it was, to be honest, because it's not my thing.
It was the event itself was sponsored by. Oh, you can leave. It's cool. Bye.
Bye, Matt.
See you later.
Have a good day at work.
The event itself was sponsored by Capcom.
Yeah.
And so they brought, it was either 3 or 4 new Nintendo 3DSs with Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter bundle.
Yeah, they were like
And they gave them away. So that's what the prize was. They also gave away a statue. I never saw what the statue was.
I didn't either.
I'm assuming it was probably like the dragon
It
from
was-
the
yeah,
collector's
it was-
edition.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So go ahead.
We come out of the elevator, and there's one of the guys there who I actually recognized from the trivia night that we went to last year. I don't know his name, though. Sorry. And he's giving out raffle tickets. And Mark grabbed, like, the last 3 numbers were 491. And when I went to grab mine, another gentleman had been a little bit closer, and he grabbed 492, and then I was 493. And then when they were drawing numbers or whatever, tickets, one of the prizes was the new 3DS, they called it, and then the number they called was the 492, and it would have been my number if I
so
had just
close.
grabbed that ticket a little bit faster.
So did you beat this guy up in the
No,
parking
he-
lot? Like,
He had explained to us before we ever even got in. Not to us particularly. He was
He
talking
was
to some
next to us in
guy,
line when we were in line waiting.
and I don't think he came to England for this, but he was saying like this is his first time in America, and
Yeah,
this
he
was
flew
one of his
in.
stops was NVC.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
we were like, okay,
we live 3 hours away, and we're making all these other plans to go see these shows and podcasts and go to IGN and meet up. So
Yeah.
this guy doesn't even live in the country. So I mean, good for him. I'm not upset.
Yeah,
I'm not a handheld fan.
I probably would have
actually.
sold it anyways because I already have the
Right.
3DS XL, and
Yeah.
I just got it.
Right.
I've used. Our friend Jerry has the new 3DS, and it's awesome, but it's not. If I could sell it for like sealed for like $175, I probably would have done it. So
Yeah.
that's the thing with that.
You missed out though. You could have gave him the full American experience, like getting mugged. Like,
Yeah, I know.
He could have gone back. Like he would have had one story of winning this prize, but then he would have had another better story.
Right?
That's,
Like, oh, these Americans, they're so
He's
horrible.
like, why is this happening? I'm like, welcome to America. We just beat his ass and take his 3DS.
It's funny because Mark and I are just so polite. Like, we went out, out and with our friends, and like,
we went to a gay club.
Yeah, it was
The other highlight of San Francisco.
Yeah.
IGN
The
and
real
gay
reason
clubs.
to go there.
Yeah, and when we go in, there's somebody checking your stamp to make sure that you're stamped, and he's like holding the door, but that's his job. He just holds it open, and we're all thank you. And then when we left for the night, we're like thanks, have a great night. Like we're like super polite, whereas other people just like push past and they don't care. So
we were like walking by. I like would tap somebody, and I'm like, oh sorry, and like
yeah.
And then like 10 people just like bump into you.
They're
They're
like,
like, get
"Why
the fuck out the way.
what are these people doing? Like,
Yeah.
it was
Mark and I are kind of weird.
San Francisco is a weird place.
That's because we're country folk. Technically.
we are.
Yeah, technically we are.
Town.
Yeah, we live in Central California, and San Francisco is it's a much.
Oh,
different.
it's a metropolis.
There's
It's
a lot
city.
of nice people there. There are. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people will stop and talk to you. Like, if they see you, like, hanging out outside IGN. We've had people stop both times. And, oh, what are you here for? What are you doing? So there's a lot of nice people.
The next morning, we woke up in Pacific Heights, right in the heart of San Francisco, and, like, everyone's walking their dogs, and some lady was talking to us and showing us her little dog, and,
It was so cute.
like, they're nice, but that was Pacific Heights. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at, for sure.
The deeper you go, the scarier it gets.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to IGN. So you lost out on the new 3DS, but there was something else you did get, and that was you got to actually ask a question on the podcast.
I did. Yeah, so they were...
Multiple questions, technically, but
I know.
just kind of rambled on.
Yeah, he didn't stop.
Yeah, if anybody's watched Mark's Remarks, you know that I'm not just going to be like, so what's your favorite Nintendo character? I'm like, no, if I get the chance to ask a question, it's going to be something big. So, so they were pulling tickets to let people arrange they were doing a top 10 list. And if anybody cares, I would have put Shovel Knight at least number 2. But
It was number 10, right?
Yeah,
At the
it
very
got
end?
knocked off, and they put it back on number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were drawing tickets for that, and they kept drawing tickets, and people weren't there. So then finally they were like, okay, is anybody close to this number? And we were like 5 under it.
Either
and I was
they
like,
weren't there or they were too afraid to go up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do it.
To make a
You
change to the list,
Yeah,
huh?
Right.
I wouldn't have. If my ticket number had got called, I was going to give it to Mark and have Mark go up and do it. I wasn't gonna do it.
yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm like 5 under, but then somebody else was like 1 under. So then I was like super disappointed because I was like, man, it hadn't even dawned on me that, hey, maybe I could be part of this. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So then when they were like, we're going to do our question block part, and they were like, just raise your hand. I thought they were going to do tickets and be like, and they were like, just raise your hand. So then at first I was like, well, I can't think of anything because I'm not a huge Nintendo guy. So then I was like, let me put a few thoughts into it. I know I can come up with something. And so finally, after like 3 people, the guy was like right next to me, and I was like, oh, he'll pick me next. I raised my hand. He gave me the microphone. I got to ask a question. It was really cool. So, and it was just about the gamepad.
Just about the Wii U, right?
Just about the Wii U. I asked it directly to Pear because it was in reference to something they had said like 5 episodes ago, and so that was kind of cool. That like
He remembered what he said.
yeah, he was like, yeah, I remember saying that. And they were like, oh god, he's calling you out, Pear. And so, it was cool, and I got to say hi to my mom. And so then she came over today, and I was like, look, and I was able to show her. I was like, oh, it's on IGN's podcast, and I said hi to you, so that's cool.
He's such a fanboy.
Right.
Like
The first step
a
to
girl
your-
watching like her favorite boy band, like crying almost, like screaming, like trying to touch him, kind of thing.
Brian Altano's there. He's just like, ah.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we had met Marty Sleva before. He met us at trivia night, and so then when I met him before the podcast, I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me," and he was like, "I absolutely remember you," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" So it's cool to talk to him again. and we're talking about Podcast Beyond 400, which we are going to. And
All three of us.
All three of us. And so then I went and shook Jose's hand, and I was like, hey, man, I'm a big fan of the show. And he's like, oh, thanks, you know. So then we were sitting there, and then Pear happened to be walking by. And I was like, oh, Pear, you know, I got it. Because Pear Schneider, if anybody doesn't know, he is a co-founder of IGN.
Oh, wow.
And he's also one of the 4 reaction guys. So there's a meme out there. And it's basically, let me try to explain it in words. Basically, it's 4 guys. And it's basically like, when I'm watching the show Full House. And like then it's just like 4 guys just sitting
Looking
there.
bored.
And then it's like, and then when The Walking Dead comes on, and then they're all like cheering and they're all happy.
Yeah, they're all like out of their chairs.
So you know what?
Oh yeah, of course.
So
I've been on the internet.
Okay, exactly.
You have? Okay.
So those 4 guys were all there. Apparently that's IGN. And the one closest to the camera, that's Pear Schneider.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So all 4 of those guys were there, and they recreated the meme in front of us and all that stuff because Craig Harris was there. He's reaction guy. He would be number 2. So it was really cool to meet Pear. And what's funny, let's go back a little bit. While we were standing outside, they all came out. And I was like, Marty Sleva! And he was like, hey! And so then they kind of walked, and they were kind of far away. And nobody else was really saying anything to them. And Amanda was like, oh, you didn't even brap Brian Altano.
I figured he would have done. I figured that would be he goes around brapping.
He does that all the time at work.
Every day. That's all he does. Brap.
And I was like, I didn't even brap the original
and I was like,
guy.
You didn't even brap him. You had the balls to yell out to Marty. And I was like, and you didn't.
Yeah, so
Brap
they're
Brian
super
Altano?
far away, and I was all
Brappe?
brap from like hell far away, and Brian turns around and is all brap back, and some old lady got all scared. It was hilarious. So then when I shook Pear's hand, he was like, hey, you're the guy that brapped us outside. And I was like, that was a Pear impression, by the way. He's German. And I was like, yeah. And so, yeah.
I like his accent.
And so it was like really cool. Like, I was like, yay. And so then after the podcast, I was like, okay, I have to go meet Brian. Amanda was ready to leave. And I was like, nope.
I just wasn't feeling good is all.
I was like, I got to go meet
Well, you guys
Brian.
had a long day, so.
It had been,
We
went to work.
And drove up, and then we hadn't eaten since like 11, I think.
Yeah, we ate
11.
at work. We had a meeting at work, and it was catered. So then, well, you guys didn't.
Yeah,
I did.
We snuck in.
Yeah.
You guys then
Crashed that
went in
party.
and ate all the leftovers.
Yes, we did.
Not ashamed.
Freaking jerks.
Delicious.
It was
No remorse.
I know, right?
No.
So that was at 11, and then when this was 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was almost 9, so we hadn't eaten all day, so I was just getting a headache.
And her nose looks too big when she eats
Right.
Subway sandwiches in front of other people, so that wasn't
I
an
couldn't
option.
do it.
Yeah, so
There was like food in my teeth, and like Pear came over to like talk to you, and then like he's like, ew.
he's like, Mark, you're so cool, but what is up with your wife? She's got
So-
a piece of lettuce in her teeth. I hate you both now. It's like, what?
Yeah, no, I just get very self-conscious about that.
Yeah, so I went and met Brian, and he took over my Instagram for a second there. I keep talking about my Instagram. If anybody wants to
Check it
follow
out.
me, it's at Myadrall, MYADRALL.
Yeah.
And he kind of took over my Instagram, and he hugged me twice. I did not hug him. He hugged me.
He kind
Of course,
had
I
to-
hugged him back.
He kind of had to jump up there, though. I think.
I know.
'cause
I'm
you're like
6'2".
6 something.
6'2" is not that tall, Larson.
Sorry,
You got to be
Brian,
at
but-
least, what, 6'3"? You're a little bit taller than me, aren't you?
Am I?
I don't know.
We're about the same height. Like, I'm
Brian
6.
Altano's like 5'6". That dude is short.
He is pretty short, but he's cute though, so that's okay.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a good night.
So it definitely sounds like you guys had an adventure in
was
San
good.
Francisco.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So-
Podcast Beyond 400, us 3 from Blank Space Entertainment are going to be there.
We are.
And hopefully we'll have enough episodes by then to where maybe somebody will be like, hey, we know those guys. We post this on IGN just in case, you know.
Right.
So we'll see. We're going to make shirts.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have shirts and a poster or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
They probably won't let us in
Okay,
with
I'm
that.
Let's see. Let's see. It's March 1st right now, and the podcast is going to be late June, early July.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure the second it shows up, they do this thing called Eventbrite, and it's basically you're buying tickets, but they're free.
Yeah.
So that way, well, what happened was for the trivia night, they were like, sign up on Eventbrite. That way we can get a number of people, how many people are going. But this was at First Amendment, no, Pedro's Cafe or something like that.
Cantina, I think.
Yeah, Pedro's Cantina, right by IGN. And so I signed up that we were all going to go, and we just went. Well, this isn't a public thing. This is more, this is at their office.
Right.
So I had asked Amanda, I said, hey, do you want to go? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, cool, because they posted it today. And so then the next day, I went to sign up, and it was sold out.
Oh, wow.
And so I tweeted Per Schneider. I tweeted all of them. And Per Schneider said, there's no guarantee that we can fit you. We have to let in the registered people first, but probably be able to let you in. What?
I'm just laughing because we were only like the 50th in line. And we
not
weren't
even, dude.
And we weren't, not even 50.
We were like maybe 25 or so.
We weren't even registered.
We weren't registered, so we get in line. And Destin comes out, and I was like, hey, and I was like, yeah, we don't even know if we're going to be able to get in. And we'd already made plans. If we weren't able to get in, we are going to just go eat dinner and do whatever.
Something boring.
And he was like, you should be able to get in. And I was like, dude, I'm totally going to name drop. So what happens is then when they let you into IGN, this lady's got the papers saying who registered. Yeah. And she's like, and I see her, and she's like, name? And I was like, we're in, right? We're here.
Yeah.
And then we saw her actually, like, being like, name? And I was like, crap, dude. I don't know if we're in, actually. And so she looks at us, and she goes, okay, name? And I was like, we're actually crashing it. I said, my friend works here, and he said that we have a good chance of getting in, so we figured we'd just show up. And she was like, oh, who's your friend? And I was like, Destin Legary. And she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, oh, it should be fine. Let me go ahead and just write your names in. And we were like, no.
Name dropping.
We totally name dropped and got in.
Even though he must not have recognized me because he didn't.
He didn't.
He shook Mark's hand.
He was walking, and he was with a few other IGN people. We're in this huge, crowded, crazy line, and he's like, hold on, I got to stop and say hi to this guy. And so he shakes my hand, and then Amanda's like, hi, Destin. And he was like, oh, hey, how's it going?
I've met him as many times as you've met him.
Every single time.
But I changed my hair. My hairstyle was different.
Yeah, see, I've looked the same. I've always.
He just thought you were a fangirl.
Yeah. Oh
he probably has so many. No.
He's like, oh, here we go. Here we go again. It's part of the job.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that was it. It was good times.
Fun.
Well, hopefully, when we go to the Beyond 400, it'll be just as eventful. Hopefully
think
better.
It will be more eventful.
Hopefully, right?
Nintendo Voice Chat is awesome, but like Podcast Beyond is its own separate animal. Like this thing.
Real talk. What do you think our chances are of winning 3DSs at Beyond?
Why would they give out 3DSs at Beyond?
It depends on if that guy's there from Europe.
They're going to give out Vitas, and we won't want to win them.
The funny thing is about that guy, too, that won that 3DS or whatever, is that he was sitting right in front of the Nintendo. If you watch the video, there's a Nintendo block on the side next to Brian Altano, and it's like the N symbol, it's really cool. And
she's talking about the N64 logo.
Yeah, the N64 logo. And I was trying to get a picture of it, but that guy had sat in this chair right next to it, was like leaning over into it. And so I have pictures of the guy that beat us out on winning that thing, actually.
We're going to do some facial recognition, find him on Facebook.
I figured I would just keep the picture so I could remember that for a lifetime.
Just put it up on Twitter.
Has anyone seen this man?
Claims he's from England, but...
All right, well, sounds like you guys had a great trip and everything. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having us.
For sure.
Well, I know you guys came
Mark's Remarks
in our own living room.
You guys came so far to be here for this interview. So.
Well, I was down there painting my nails, and now I'm up here. So.
Exactly, the 4 feet. So,
pretty
well,
far.
All right, everybody. This has been an episode of Mark's Remarks with the Reverend Alex Larson,
and I'm the Internet's Mark Medina.
I'm the PR something executive. I'm the best out of everybody here.
It's true.
Medina,
she just runs everything from behind the scenes.
I'm a boss.
Yep.
She is. All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next week.
See you next time.